A woman who lost everything many years ago finds a young girl's letter to Santa. What she did next was nothing short of a Christmas miracle. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video with your friends. It might brighten their day and inspire them to do good. Also keep watching because an important lesson awaits at the end of the video. Many years ago, Bethany, a successful artist, was working on one of her pieces. She then received a phone call and heard the most devastating news she had ever heard. Her daughter, Monique, and grandson, Jason, had been hospitalized after a car accident. After rushing to the local hospital, Bethany was informed that both had died due to their injuries. Bethany fell into a depression following the losses. She felt she would never be able to move on following the tragedy. One day, she attended St. James Church, crying as she prayed for an answer. God spoke to her and said, "Monique and Jason are watching over you from heaven." Bethany realized her family wouldn't want to watch her live her life in pain. She finally got back to work and released many successful artworks. Still, she felt a hole in her heart. She decided that the best way to heal would be to help others in need. Bethany had earned millions for her artwork, but had nobody left to inherit her fortune. She started a foundation in her hometown called Mrs. Santa's Super Sled. The initiative focused on helping to provide Christmas gifts for children living in her city's poorer areas. Throughout the year, she would receive letters from kids requesting basic necessities, books, and even food. Every year, Bethany read every letter and fulfilled the children's wishes. It always amazed her that most of the kids wouldn't ask for toys and games, but rather things that would help their families through the winter season. The initiative also inspired the local community to make donations and host food drives. The day after schools closed for the Christmas break, she would host a large event at St. James Church, which the whole community would attend. Families from poor communities were invited, and the children's Christmas wishes were fulfilled. Bethany ensured that all the more impoverished families also joined in a special feast. They were served turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, cranberry sauce, and the works. One year, while going through the children's Christmas letters, Bethany came across one slightly different. "I don't need toys. Save my mom," it read. The letter sent a chill down Bethany's spine. She called in her assistant, Katie, for help. "Please try and find this little girl before the holiday season starts," Bethany asked. Katie set out to all the local shelters hoping someone could help in the search. 2 days later, she struck gold. She felt she might have better luck asking around at nearby hospitals. At Silvercrest Hospital, a nurse suggested that the letter could be from a young girl named Christy, whose mother, Sienna, required surgery. Katie decided to visit Sienna, and the young woman confirmed that the handwriting belonged to her daughter. "I'm going to come back tomorrow with Bethany to pay you a visit," Katie told her. The following day, Bethany and Katie went to Silvercrest. Bethany was emotional as it was the same hospital where Monique and Jason had passed away. Bethany introduced herself, and it turned out that Sienna and her daughter had attended the last 2 Christmas feasts. Bethany asked Sienna why she was in the hospital. "I've had a stroke that requires surgery, but my health insurance can't cover the cost. After my husband died, I've been working 2 jobs to take care of Christy, but I still can't afford to pay for the treatment," she replied. "I try to keep positive about the situation, but Christy can read me like a book. She can always tell when something is wrong, and at the moment, a lot of things are wrong," Sienna continued. Bethany offered to pay for the surgery, and Sienna broke down in tears as she accepted the offer. Sienna's surgery fell on the 4th Thursday of November, Thanksgiving. Bethany visited the hospital to wish her well and found Christy in the waiting room. "Mrs. Santa?" Christy asked inquisitively. "You can call me Aunt Beth," Bethany replied. After wishing Sienna well, Bethany decided to take Christy out for a bite while they waited for the surgery to be completed. "I'm scared that something is going to go wrong. I don't want to lose my mom," Christy admitted. Bethany clenched both of the young girl's hands and told her to believe in God's will. Christy asked her what she meant, and Bethany told her to close her eyes. "First, tell God what you are thankful for today," Bethany said. "Dear God, I'm thankful for my mom, the best mom ever. She's the nicest person in the world and my best friend, Christy said nervously. With Christy's hands gripped tightly, Bethany prayed for Sienna's successful surgery and recovery. Christy then asked Bethany what to do next. Bethany told her to have patience and leave the rest to God's will. An hour later, Christy and Bethany waited anxiously in the waiting room. A nurse came by with news that the surgery was successful and that Sienna was recovering well. Christy embraced Bethany joyfully. "Thank you, Mrs. Santa," Christy shouted with a beaming smile. A month later, Bethany was preparing for her annual Christmas feast and spotted two familiar faces walking the door at St. James Church. "Mrs. Santa," Christy screamed at the top of her lungs as Sienna followed close behind. Sienna thanked Bethany for everything she had done for her, and the three shared a table at the feast. The two remained friends and found they helped each other feel like they had family again. While Bethany had lost her daughter and grandson, she found a new family. What can we learn from this story? Never lose hope. In her darkest hour, God showed Bethany that there is always a way forward, even through hard times. Lead with love. Bethany was able to help Sienna and many others in her community thanks to the kindness of her heart.